Hines. He's a great speaker, entrepreneur, and one of our best rated speakers at our career day. He always, we had him.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we had him as a keynote speaker one year.
I knew he was a keynote. I didn't know he was one of the best rated.
Yeah. I would always have the students do evaluations, and that's how we would pick the keynote speakers for the following one. And even at a more advanced age, we would say, he was able to connect with the kids at a level that they found him entertaining and informative. So.
Well, he's a very entertaining guy. When Kevin Hines walks in the room, you know he's there. Everybody knows he's there. And this is really, guys, he has a presence beyond anyone I've ever known. When my father walks into any room, people stare at him and wonder who he is. That's been my whole life. I've had people come up to me after one of the career days he did and say, "Your dad is so cool." I remember when he did a classroom speech. Before he did the full career day with Arthur Klein, he did a classroom speech that I was in. And I could not, when he left to go back to work that day, to actually go downtown and go to business, they wouldn't let me out of the room. They wanted to talk about my dad for half an hour. It was amazing. He is the reason I'm such a good public speaker. He and Uncle Kevin, Sunset Irishman, toughest Sunset Irishman you ever knew next to Pat Hines. And they have East Coast accents, but they're from San Francisco. Figure that out. So Uncle Kevin would bring me every single day I was in the psych ward. He would bring me a comic book or 2 comic books, a cup of soup from the best soup store in San Francisco, and conversation. Uncle Kevin said, "Well, back to my dad." So my dad is doing that classroom, and that was it. And it was one of the best speeches I've ever heard. But here's the thing: in 7th grade, when I was still at St. Cecilia's, he did the career day there.
Okay.
And he's on stage, and I've never heard him speak, never known that he was a speaker, didn't know he could speak, and I'm sitting there like, what is my dad going to talk about for an hour in front of all these St. Cecilia parents and kids? And he nailed it. It was amazing. I sat there going, whoa, my dad can do that? And on that day in 7th grade, I said in my head, someday, I'm going to do that.
Yeah. What's funny is, I don't know how many thousands of speeches I've heard in that auditorium, but I remember distinctively parts of his speech, and he was booed during his speech, and he knew he would be booed. And what the school had just signed a contract with turnitin.com, which prevents people from cheating and copying work. And so he said, and he knew it was going to happen, and he just looked at everybody, paused, and he's like, "And I helped originate and invest and start turnitin.com."
The kids booed.
And the kids booed. They just hate turnitin.com.
Of course, you can't cheat with turnitin.com. It's impossible.
Yeah, it's very
hard. Anyway.
Very hard, and so it makes you have to actually come up with original ideas.
Makes you do the work. And my dad taught me. Kevin Hines taught me the best lesson I've ever learned in my life: hard work, because nothing good ever came without it.
Yeah. But he turned it around with, he talked about all the different foster children he helped
27 kids?
Yeah.
27 kids out of the Hines home went in and came out and went in and got adopted, and Libby, Joseph, and I got to stay.
Yeah, and that's where I think his biggest applause came from, where he was talking about, he said, out of everything I've done, the most proud thing I have accomplished in life is had the ability to be a foster father to 27 children. And when he was done, he got a standing ovation. And Reardon kids are honest. They're not going to stand unless they believe in you. And they're gonna, if they don't like something, they're gonna boo you, and they're gonna tell you. And so
Catholic school,
yeah.
Good Lord.
Well, all boys, boys don't hold back when
they tell the truth. And that's one thing that's probably the greatest lesson I learned at Archbishop Reardon High School, was how to be integrous, how to have integrity. Wasn't that one of our? It was. What are the 5 or 4 pillars of Reardon High School?
Well, that's the 5 characteristics of Marianist education. But one year we picked a theme for the school, and we said this year will be a year of integrity. And so everything we did, we tried to tie it in all the different classes academically and our presentations, and we tried to tie what we were learning to integrity, and how does integrity have an impact on history, religion, math, everything, sports. So that was, from your era, that still stands to today. A lot of guys come back and say, what was that whole integrity thing?
Yeah, no. And I call you a second father figure, because my dad, to be honest with you, was the toughest Sunset Irishman anybody ever knew, and he was the hardest on me.
Right.
He was hard on me, and I don't blame him. I'm not mad at him, but there was definitely verbal abuse involved most of my childhood, and he knows I've talked about that openly. And here's the thing: he never once hit me, but his father hit him every day.
Right.
Mickey Kevin Hines was a massive Irish human being.
Right.
He would come home drunk every day after World War II when he was in the Battle of Okinawa, and he would punch holes in every drywall next to my father's face, and he would often connect. And my father, at 16, punched Mickey back once. Mickey's head was like a sledgehammer; it didn't move.
Wow.
And he leans in and he goes, "Patrick, don't ever do that again." But on that day, when my dad was 16 years old, he never once was ever again punched in the head by his dad.
Yeah. That's the era.
That's what his dad respected.
Yeah.
That's what his dad needed to stop.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So then let's fast forward to my recollection of the story was you were in an English class, and I guess the topic of suicide came up.
Yes, at City College.
Yeah.
So
which is right across the street from our high school.
Okay, so this is what happened. The morning of September 25th. Now the note's in the bag.
Mm-hmm.
I go into my dad's room. He's wearing his breathing apparatus, sounding like Darth Vader, snoring like, in his CPAP machine. And he said, and I startle my dad. I go like this. I push his shoulder. He jumps up. He looks at the clock on his end table, which he still has the same clock from like 1982. And he goes, "Kevin, what's wrong?" He takes off his mask. "Kevin, what's wrong?" Now, Vittorio, I wanted to tell him what was wrong. I wanted to tell him exactly what I was about to do. And that is one of the voices I've been hearing for years. "Be quiet, Kevin. You have to do it. It's inevitable." And I said, "No, I have to tell my dad. I'm talking to myself. In my head, I have to tell my dad." And he says, "Kevin, be quiet. You have to die. It is inevitable." But imagine like a demon's voice doing this, right?
Right.
Imagine something from Stephen King's life saying that. And my dad goes, "Yeah, Kevin, what's wrong?" And I looked at him, and it was like the devil was on my shoulder, and the angel was going up. And I said, "Nothing's wrong, Dad. I just wanted to tell you I love you." Because it was my last time to tell him that, in my mind. And the devil was like, "Yeah, good job." And then my dad said, "I love you too, Kevin. But it is 6 in the morning, and I don't have to be at work until 9. Go back to bed." And he put his mask back on. He fell soundly asleep as quickly as he'd awoken. And I walked around to the other side of his bed. I sat in a cross-legged position like I did in Catholic school in grade school. And I rocked my body back and forth, begging myself to tell the one man who loves me the most in the entire world the truth. And the voice yelled at decibels I can't do on this microphone. This will pierce your eardrums. "You have to die. It's inevitable. You don't have a choice. Go." Went back to my room. At 6:30, I went back to the room at 6:30. At 7 a.m. he entered. He was terrified. He knew something was wrong. He didn't know what. No one ever taught my dad suicide prevention. Who gets taught suicide prevention when they need to be? Nobody. So my dad comes into my room and he goes, "Kevin, I'm very worried about you. I don't know what to do. Why don't you come to work with me today?" So he knew I was in danger of something. He didn't know what. And I said, "No, Dad, I have to go to City College today." He said, "Kevin, I'm telling you, you skip class today, you come with me at the office, you'll be with me all day, that's it." And I went, "Oh, God's gonna keep me from jumping off the Golden Bridge, I can't have this happen." And the voice said, "You have to die, figure it out."
So you were set on
I was set.
the day
It was
I'm going to die.
from the 24th to the 25th, that was the 25th was my last day on earth in my mind. And the voices were overwhelming. And so I looked at him and I'm freaking out because if he stops me from, he's a big guy. He could easily stop me from going anywhere. And I'm not in my right mind. And I said, "Dad, no, I can't. I don't want to go to." And he goes, "Kevin, we'll go to the beach. We'll go to the movies, Kevin. I don't care what we do. You're going to be with me today." You know how forceful he gets. So I'm like, "Dad, I have a really big math test today." And now my dad is an economist. He deals with numbers and has his whole life. When he was in USF, he was given a Jesuit education for free because of his background. His parents died of liver failure, cirrhosis at very young ages. He was left with about $17 in his pocket to his name. He went from the gutter to one of the greatest economists in San Francisco's history. Period. That's a fact. And he's been the president of every bank in the city. And so he heard me say, and I knew that if I said Spanish, I would have to be with him that day. If I said English, I would have to be with him that day. I said math. He loves math. And so he goes, what kind of math test? And I was like, fuck, I don't know math. Calculus. He goes, you're taking whatever, Dad. It's something like that. It's calculus. He goes, okay. You take the bus. I'll drive you to City College. You take the bus home tonight. Be home by 6 tonight. Is it okay? I said, that's perfect, Dad. I feel better. I've calmed down. And he goes, you look like you calmed down. Good. I feel better now. I made myself look like I was calm. Inside, I was on fire, feeling like bugs were crawling around my entire body inside of me. Inside, I was overheating. You know, I'm lucky I wasn't sweating. And so he goes, okay, let's get in the car. Is that your bag? And that was the shoulder bag with the note in it. I grabbed the bag and go in the car. And he starts talking the entire ride. Patrick Hines, unless prompted, is not a talkative man. He's very, very quiet and reserved most days unless he's engaging with people he loves and knows. When he talks, it's always intelligent, it's always historical, it's always great. But he talked the entire ride and I was silent, which you know is hard for me.
Right.
I was silent the whole ride, gripping my shoulder bag like this to my chest. Because if he found that note, it was over. We get to the kitty corner on City College campus and he looks at me. And he says one of his favorite mantras. He's got 2 mantras for me, 2 of them. One of his mantras is, Kevin, what the hell are you doing? He says it all the time. But his other mantra, which I love, is, Kevin, I love you. Be Kevin. He said it every day. He says it today. He calls me to say it. We're lucky that he can. And I kissed him on the cheek as I had done since I was yay high, like a little tiny guy. You know, like you would see in like a Robert De Niro movie. And I kissed him on the cheek. I stepped out of the car with my right foot and I stood. And I'll never forget it. He drove away. And a tear came out of the side, rolled down my right cheek, off my chin, and it landed in the middle of my lugs boot shoelace, in the middle shoelace. I can't forget that because that was the moment my life changed forever. My father drives away and I said, that's the last time I will ever see anybody I love, and the very last time anybody I love will ever see me. And at that moment I was content to die.